All right, sweet. So welcome everybody to the Talk Bout podcast. Even though it's the podcast, this is Talk Bout Jiu Jitsu. And today we have a very special guest. It is the man that this whole card has been built around. He is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Black Belt, Andrew Kochel. And Andrew, thank you so much for doing this. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir. So obviously you are in the main event of our Talk Bout Tournament One card on August 26th, live at the Revolution Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Gym. You were competing in the main event for the Talk Bout Jiu-Jitsu Middleweight Championship, the inaugural Talk Bout Jiu-Jitsu Middleweight Championship. And we're going to get into all that. But first, I wanted to ask you a quick question. Did you know who Chris Kelly was prior to being pitched the idea to competing against him in the main event?
No, I mean, I heard of him before. I think I seen him at one other event. I think he did like one of the Riverfront matches I was at or something. I know he trained with like Nick Wiley before, and I seen him with some stuff with Nick Wiley, but I never like really seen him like more than do one match before, so I don't know him too well.
So that's interesting because obviously, you know, this is at his gym. This is happening in front of his people in his gym, but everyone knows who you are. And that's the funny thing about this card. There's a lot of people on the card that maybe people are learning, and there is some familiar names, but you talk to anyone who is watching this and they know who Andrew Kochel is. It is very apparent. You compete all the time. And I actually want to ask you a question about that because it's the same question that I asked Chris. Your guys' experience when it comes to competing, it's not even close. You compete all the time. I mean, every single week I look at your Instagram and there it is, first place, another title. Do you feel like the experience is what's going to play a major factor in this match?
I do. I think the more you compete, the better you get at competing. I'm always a big fan of I get really nervous before I compete. I did like 1,000 matches probably in the last year and a half, and I still get like nervous for every match. But I feel like that's a good thing. Like the nerves that get inside of me kind of makes me want to compete better, and I think it brings out the best version of myself.
Yes, for sure. Now, when you compete on something like this, and I obviously I'm extremely honored to have you a part of this event, but not only that, you've competed on the highest level. You competed at Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds not too long ago, and that was, I'm sure, an amazing experience. What made you decide to do this match other than the fact that there's a championship on the line, there's a cash prize on the line? What made you go, out of all the things that you could be doing, you chose Talk Bout Jiu-Jitsu to go head-to-head with Chris Kelly?
Well, one, I mean, I just love jiu-jitsu in general. So anything that I can do like within a couple hour drive in my house, I'm down to compete in. I'm doing jiu-jitsu since I've been about 9 years old, and I just fell in love with it. There's nothing I'd rather be doing on the weekends and going out and trying to choke somebody out. I just love jiu-jitsu. Two, I feel like you're a good guy. I like supporting local businesses and local things. Anytime I can come and support an event that like not too far from my house, and I know the people, I'm always down to do that. I love jiu-jitsu and I love helping out people around us, so I'm always down to compete in a local event.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for that, and I really appreciate it. So now that we can get into the match a little bit more, obviously this is the main event, like I said, for the championship, and also with a cash prize on the line. I know that you don't know Chris too well. Obviously, I'm very close with Chris, and I know from my own experience how good he is, but it's different. This is a different level, and I'll be completely honest and transparent with you. I saved everyone's I did everybody's match before the main event, and I asked Chris, I said, hey, Chris, I know who I want to give you, but you have to tell me, is this too much of a jump? Because I've seen Andrew compete, and I know how good he is, and he was open for the challenge. Do you feel like that this is going to be a quick match? He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. I know you don't know much about him, but do you feel like you can get him out of there quickly?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I think the match will probably end like 5 minutes. Not being mean to him, I respect him a lot. I just think some of my attacks, my leg entanglements, gonna be a lot for him. I'm assuming he's good at leg locks, but I think I'm one of the best leg lockers probably around this area. I think we're getting into some kind of scramble with the legs, and I'll probably get a pretty quick finish.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for doing this. And obviously, guys, you guys can buy the tickets right now on talkboutpodcast.com. You guys can even register for the event, the Talk Bout Tournament cash prize tournaments. We have a 155-pound white/blue belt tournament and an 170-pound white/blue belt tournament, all on talkboutpodcast.com. Obviously, the main event, Andrew Kochel, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Black Belt, competing out of his own gym, Valley Jiu-Jitsu, going head-to-head with Chris Kelly, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, from Revolution for the Talk Bout Jiu-Jitsu Middleweight Championship. Andrew, thank you so much for doing this, man. I really, really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you on August 25th for the ceremonial weigh-ins when we get the two faced off. So it's going to be awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Have
I'll
a
see you
great
guys
one.
soon.
Thank you for doing
Thank you,
this.
man.
You do well, man,
Anytime.
and I will continue to talk to you. Thank you so
Yep,
much.
I'll see you soon, brother.
Yes, sir.